Praise be Jesus Christ and Mary Immaculate. Welcome to this fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time. We are going to read from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 1 through 12, the text known as the Beatitudes. When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up the mountain, and after he had sat down, his disciples came to him, and he began to teach them, saying, Here the Gospel writer Mathew, this is his masterpiece. And he is showing his masterpiece not only in the theological content, but in the writing style of these Beatitudes. This is making a reference to Moses, who on Mount Sinai received from God words and directions, laws and decrees to give his people. And the people were bound to these laws and decrees in order to receive God's blessing. If they refused or were not willing to comply, then of course they would not receive a blessing, they would receive a curse. Here Jesus goes up the mountain. It is not given to us a name, but the fact that there is the definite article, the mountain, means that there's something really special here. And Jesus sits in the position of the teacher to teach his people. And unlike the law of Moses, the Beatitudes that follows are a way of life that all people are invited to enter into, unlike the Ten Commandments, which were solely for the people of Israel. Here, the message of Jesus is universal. There are 8 Beatitudes that speak to us of the number 8. 8 Beatitudes because 8 is the day of the resurrection. It is the first day of the week, meaning those of us and those of you who put into practice these Beatitudes have in them the ability to live the resurrected life even now, to live and partake of the divine nature that God gives to us right here and right now. We have in us the divine life that helps us in overcoming many obstacles, including death. Death will not be the end to us who put into practice these Beatitudes, but death will be something that happens to us in order to enter fully into our condition as a son and a daughter of God. There are 8 Beatitudes. I like to pay attention to the first one. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. I like to make note that from the very start, that God or Jesus does not bless poverty, and he does not bless people because they are poor. God does not want people to experience poverty, and God knows that poverty exists because of the greediness of a few that many people suffer. Poverty is something that the Christian community has to eradicate and work really hard of bringing about justice so that all people on our planet can have what they need to live adequate lives. Instead, you can read it like this: Blessed are those who, because of their love of the Spirit, become poor. Because of the love of the Spirit, they become detached from all these worldly possessions, and they get attached to those things that come from God, that come from heaven, that come from the Spirit, that are inspired by the Spirit. And it's not difficult to detach of the things of this world when we are promised even greater things by the Spirit in Jesus. And Jesus says that blessed are those who, because of the love of the Spirit, are poor, because theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven, of course, is the kingdom of God. But Matthew, writing to a Jewish community, does not use those words, but it is one in the same. And it is ours. It is given to us in the right here, in the right now. The kingdom of God and the kingdom of heaven is not something outside of us, somewhere up in the sky, but it's right here and right now when we put into practice these Beatitudes. And I like to note that these Beatitudes, that the people, for example, who are poor, the people who are mourning, the people who are meek, the people who suffer hunger and thirst for righteousness, the people who are merciful, the people who are striving to have a clean heart, these people are blessed not only because they desire these things or because they are called to accept these situations, but because of the action of God that follows it, right? Blessed are they who are mourn, not because they're mourn, but because God will comfort them. Blessed are they who are meek, not because they're meek, but because they will inherit the land. God will give them the land. Blessed are the merciful, not just because they're merciful, because God will in turn show them mercy. So it's because of the action of God in our life that we are blessed. And I'd like to conclude with this. What do we mean by the word blessed? The word blessed can mean different things. One of the most beautiful definitions of blessedness, of being blessed, is from Father Ron Rolheiser, who speaks to us that blessing means to speak well of, being spoken well of. God speaks well of us when we accept these Beatitudes, when we put into practice these Beatitudes. But another definition of blessed means this extraordinary divine joy, happiness, this divine joy and happiness that is not of this world, that you experience even but for small moments. And we experience this divine joy and happiness when we accept these Beatitudes, when we enter into these values of the kingdom of God, when we're able to, like that first Beatitude, out of love for the Spirit, detach ourselves from everything that is temporal so that we can then allow God to enrich us with that which is divine. God bless you.